Hello, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I am absolutely certain that you are doing fantastic. I am also doing fantastic. And I wanted to talk with you about how, you'll talk with people and you'll get into a discussion about things. And let's say you're having a deep discussion about reality. Okay. And then it always kind of comes up. It's like, well, what is real anyway? Like, really? I mean, and then some people will be like, well, this is real, right? Anything that's tangible, anything that I can touch or feel or anything like that, that's real. Anything in the real world. It's like true, I guess. That is true in this realm, in this frequency range. But we also, when we have a dream, when we are asleep and we dream, that also seems very real. And a lot of people will be like, nah, that's not real. It's just a dream. It's like, yeah, well, but now that I'm awake and I'm thinking about it, it was so strange. It was such a really weird or surreal or whatever. But it's like, but when I was in that state, it seemed so real, right? And it's like, well, okay, and now in this state, things seem so real. And it's like, well, so it basically, whatever state you are in, seems so real. There are many, many other examples of this. And oh, by the way, loved one, before we go any further, please give this video a like. I would really appreciate that if you would do that. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. I would so appreciate it if you would do that as well. And yeah, there's that. But a lot of cultures, a lot of spiritual philosophies believe that this is the dream state. And then there are some others that will even believe that they're all dream states. We transition from one state to another, but they're all just dream states. And I mean, anybody who's listened to me talk would probably say, well, Matt, that's probably what you believe, isn't it? Because you, being the hermetic guy that you are, I'm not really a hermeticist, but I mean, I don't know, maybe I am, but whatever. But it's like you say that all is mind, that nothing really is real. Everything is real, but not in the same sense that we think of it as real. Everything is just in mind. What I mean by that is everything does occupy the same space because there really is no space. Everything exists in mind, the mind of the creator. It's like when the radio station analogy. It's like if you are tuned to station 1 and then you can perceive everything that's coming through on station 1. Okay. Now, we also have stations 2 and 3 and 4. And we know that they are there. We know that the radio waves for station 1 are here, the radio waves for station 2, they all occupy the exact same space. But it's whatever you are tuned to is the one that you will perceive. But it's still occupying the exact same space. Because really, technically, when we're talking about all is mind and all is in the mind of the all, there is no space. It just is. Everything just is. It all exists right there in that mind. But what if we were able to change the channel? What if we were able to change stations? What if we were able to go from channel 1 to channel 2? What if channel 2 is what we call in this state the dream state? Or what if channel 3 is what we would refer to as the astral realm? Right? Anytime we're in those states, it seems very real. People who have had out of body experiences, people who who do astral travel, they will tell you when they're in that state, it seems just as real there as this does here. Most people would imagine that, okay, the astral realm is probably very etheric. It's probably very dreamlike. Maybe if we were looking at it from this perspective, it would be. But if we're there, according to people who know, they say it is just as real there as this is here. So again, what is real? Is this all there is? For example, does a fish living in a pond know it's living in a pond? To that fish, that pond is its entire world. That's all it knows. And I know there may be a fish that'll jump out of the water when that would probably be the equivalent of us going into space. For a minute, for a second, whatever. You get my point. It's all about perception, and it's all subjective. It's whatever you see. It's whatever you accept as real, whatever you accept into your paradigm. That's what real is. And the great thing about that is whenever we accept that, whenever we say, well, I understand that in this reality, I can perceive things from in that range, right? In the frequency range of here to here. I understand that those are the things that I can perceive when I am tuned to channel 1. But in other states, it's just as real there as it is here. Anyway, loved ones, that's kind of what I got right here. This is just a short one. I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, a lot of people have this discussion. And I do talk an awful lot about reality, yes, of course. And so many people, they'll get into these deep discussions about what is reality. It's like, well, it depends upon your perspective. It depends upon how what you're looking at it from, like the fish in the pond. Does it know that there's anything outside of that? No. Or the lion that was born and raised in a zoo. Does it know it's in a zoo? Or is it just that people walking by taking pictures and having its food brought to it every day? Or is that just normal? That's just its world. It's like, this is the world as far as I'm concerned. It's like Plato's allegory of the cave in the Republic. In the cave, the guys were from birth were chained together and in a cave, and they were looking at a wall, and of course there was a fire built behind them, and then there were people who would make shadows on the wall. And to those guys living in that cave, staring at the wall, those shadows on that wall, that's all they've ever known. That is their reality. That is their world. But of course, in the cave, most of us know that. But those that don't, I'll I'll finish it up real quick. A lot of the guys, or there was one of the guys that was chained. He got free, and he left the cave, and he went out to the mouth of the cave, and he saw the sun, and he saw trees, and he saw just the sky, and he saw what we call reality. And he didn't believe it. He's like, wait a minute. So the shadows on the wall, that's not everything? That's not the world? Finally, he came to terms with it. So he goes back into the cave, and he starts to tell his friends that he was chained up with, listen, this is not it. This is not the world. This is just what this is all we've known, yes, but there's more, lots more. Let me show you. Come with me. Let me show you outside the cave. The thing is, the sad part is, a lot of guys don't want to know. They don't want to know what's really real. They were perfectly content to keep looking at the shadows on the wall. And unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of our other members of humanity. A lot of people are perfectly content with saying this narrow band that we can perceive. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that being all there is to reality. But there's so much more. And isn't it interesting? Isn't it fascinating? I mean, never mind the fact that we could figure out how to manipulate reality and make lives, amazing lives for ourselves. I mean, that part's awesome. Yes. But isn't it fascinating? Isn't it doesn't it make you want to be a consciousness explorer, expand consciousness and really zoom out there and see what more there is to it? If someone came and got you and said, there's more to that. If you were in the cave staring at the wall, the shadows on the wall, and that's all you've ever known, but one of your friends came to you and said, "Hey, I can show you. I can come with me. Let me show you what's outside of here." Would you go? I mean, that's a deep question. So anyway, loved one. Again, I know I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes ago. That's what I got. But anyway, that is what I got. Yeah, let me know. What do you think of these things? I mean, if you were able to change your channel, would you? If this is channel 1 and channel 2 is a dream state, channel 3 is the astral plane or whatever, if you could change channels at will, if you could train yourself how to do it, would you? I guess if you were willing to train yourself to do it, of course you would. But if you could do that, would you? Anyway, that's what I got, loved ones. If you would, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. I would so appreciate if you would do those two things. And also, you can find me on X. And what I do there is I post all my stuff, blog posts, audio podcasts, which is the My Sober Addiction podcast. And then also these very candid videos that I just kind of get on here and ramble about. Post all of those things on there too. So, but the thing I like most about X is we can interact on the fly. We can, it's very real time interaction. So that part I really like. Anyway, loved ones, that's what I got. I do love you. I truly do. And I'll be back directly.